Even if you're not hitting very, there's one right there. See that snap of the rod? I didn't necessarily hit a piece of grass or anything, but that is what triggered that strike. You want to add in that erratic snap of the rod every now and then, and that's what's going to keep them from tracking it to making that decision and eating the bait. So I can't stress enough that's what I call a steady retrieve. And then there's the fluttering retrieve. A lot of guys will use that when the grass is even more sparse, or they're fishing it a lot deeper. One of the guys on the FLW tour, I finished third in that event. I think the guy who finished second, Jeff Gussie, he was fluttering a chatterbait, and it's a retrieve that gets forgotten about a lot of times. People forget about it, but it's a really deadly technique. And how you do it is, so right here, this is a perfect example. If it was a little deeper, it'd be even better. We got like a 5-foot bowl right here with some really scattered grass. So a lot of times if the fish are very aggressive and the conditions are right and it's windy, those fish, you can use this steady retrieve and keep that bait high in the water column and still get them to come up and strike the bait. However, when they're not as aggressive, maybe they've gotten some pressure, the yo-yo, the flutter, whatever you want to call it, that technique really shines. So what you do is you want to cast it out there, let the bait rip up, let it fall, reel it, and I can't stress enough the erraticness of this. Don't get in a pattern where you rip it up, let it fall, reel it a couple times, give it some pops, let it fall, crank a few more times, rip it, let it fall. So what you're doing is you're giving those fish a chance to eat it when you kill it. That's the main thing with the flutter or yo-yo technique. You really, when you decide when you're trying to decide which retrieve to use, I say it a lot and you hear a lot of people say it, but once again, we got to listen to the fish. So if they're eating it on that kill, maybe you need to yo-yo or flutter it a little more. If they're eating it on that steady retrieve, keep it moving along. And the biggest thing is when you're trying to find them, when you're covering water, I like to keep that steady retrieve and just add some pops and snaps into it. It really can trigger some ferocious strikes. Another time that the flutter or yo-yo, let it go to a bottom flutter rounds when you're target fishing. Say we have a rock pile or something in particular there that we know we're casting to. You might not want to just burn it right over the top of it with the chatterbait. You might want to let it go to the bottom, pull it up, let it sink, give it a couple snaps. There's a lot of different scenarios where this bait works, man. It's not just here on these big grass lakes. That's where it gets a lot of attention, yes, because that is where it shines the most. But I've said it before, it's got a place everywhere. It's got a place around docks, it's got a place around riprap, arenas, laydowns. It's an alternate to a spinnerbait or a square bill. It's like a hybrid between the two of them. It's a really killer bait. It's not the bait you're gonna go throw in high slick skies with no wind, sun, super clear water. It's probably not gonna be the deal. But when you get a little color in the water, you get a little wind, you get some clouds, you better be humming a chatterbait around. So I've said it before that like I said, I killed it and bam. They love it when you're doing something a little different with it. Check that fish out. That fish there looks pretty dang fresh, like it just pulled up. Look good. But though that one wasn't huge, the chatterbait is a big fish catching bait.